Yahushai, Brakatah Yahweh, Brakatah Yahushai, Brakatah Yahweh, Brakatah Yahushai, Bahasara Chahagodash. I want to give double honors to our elder apostles and elder bishops of Great Mill Starving Well, as well as peace and blessings, health and wellness to the house of David the elect. I was a high spirit wind lawyer. And today I want to go into a topic. Alright, today I want to go into a topic entitled, well, I don't have a title for it, but just Jake being in America. Alright, the 12 tribes in America. So look, the 12 tribes in America, we're known as the afflicted. Alright? The 12 tribes in America, alright, we're known as afflicted. Alright? And I was thinking, how some people think that, you know, if you're an Israelite, if you're a so-called black, Hispanic, or Native American man, that it's not hard for you. But it is hard for you, or it's harder than a so-called white man. Now I don't believe in being lazy. A man has to work to eat, because you got Jake who don't even want to work, and they'll say that you know, the white man is the devil, the so-called white man is the devil, and things of that nature. But the reality is, hey, the scripture says that he made no account of our labors. We labored in this country for free for 250 years. Then another 100 years of being systemically held back from the same country that we built up. So by the time they let us quote unquote free, all right, we were 350 years behind. Then on top of that, the year or the decade that let us free, what ensued? All right, crack, the advent of crack 20 years later, all right, 25 years later. Jim Crow ended in 1968, but the different inner cities in America got flooded with crack cocaine in the 80s. All right, black culture was exploited at the end of the 1960s. There's no coincidence that when they assassinated a lot of leaders, whether they were fake or not, all right, the culture got exploited. All right, we went from having revolutionaries that's looked at as leaders to drug dealers looked at as leaders, and we've never healed from that. So as soon as the quote-unquote systemic oppression was uplifted, all right, the overt systemic oppression was uplifted, all right, then we were psychologically attacked, all right, through our culture. Like I said, you had Superfly as a psychological attack. You had the welfare state, all right, because before, what's that, the 1960s, only 22% of so-called black households were single-parent households. Now it's about, what, 80%? You can correct me on the comment boards. It's like 80%, maybe even more, of so-called black households are single-parent. And it's normalized, but you have to understand statistically, if you come from a single-parent household, then statistically you're going to be poor, low income. You're just going to have a lot of disadvantages. So that's another attack on our people, because the welfare state wasn't conducive to Jake building. All right, so you got the advent of drugs, like I said, in the 80s, or the advent of crack cocaine in the 80s, all right, which was made on the college campus, I believe. All right, and the exploitation of black culture, so-called black culture. All right, you have single-parent households. All right, you have laws like 3 strike laws in the 90s that really punished Jake, all right, for being caught with marijuana. You also had laws that if you would face a minimum 5 years if you was caught with a certain amount of crack, but it was a lesser sentence if you was found with the cocaine. So the victims, the users, all right, users would get a very harsh prison sentence by law, without even going to court, but just by law if you were caught with it. All right, without even, you know, going through the process per se. Okay, but now you fast forward to now, you have the opioid epidemic that affects a lot of middle class Edomites. They're not going to prison because they're found with opioids. You see. You see. So you built a country that you were systemically kept from, and you built the empire that you were systemically kept from, and on top of that, you didn't receive any reward for it. You know? Then you were psychologically attacked through your culture. Then you were psychologically attacked through the media. So America has been programmed to look at you like you're the bad guy. All right? The narrative has been said about us that we're the ones that you should be aware of. Beware of. You know? The so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native American family has been attacked, especially the kingdom of Judah, especially the Judite, man. You know, because Esau knows if you attack the head, then the nation will follow, man. You attack the head of any animal, the body will follow. You see? So Judah is the head tribe. So you gave Judah a sin culture, because the head is the mind. Within the head is the brains. It's the mind. It's the intelligence. Within our mind is supposed to be the law, statutes, and commandments. It tells you that Judah is the lawgiver. All right, but if you take the laws from Judah and you replace the laws with transgression, with sin, and you give him sin culture, I mean, then the whole nation falls, man. That's why Judah woke up first when it came to this truth, man. Starting with Elder Abba Bivens, High Priest Ariah, King Masha, Elder Yaaiqua, the House of Judah, man. All right? But Jake is oppressed. Oh, how can I forget the prison industrial complex? Which is part of the reason why Esau gave a propaganda that you were the boogeyman. Because you went from being an animal to a criminal. As far as Esau's narrative towards you, all right? And that's why you have demons like Vocab Malone. He wants your ass to be a gentle lion. He wants to talk with you, all right? Because what he wants to do, the lion is in Esau's demonic laboratory, right? And we're the lion. The nation of Israel is that lion. It tells you as an old lion who should rouse him up. Well, Jake is being roused up, right? But Vocab wants to tranquilize you and put you back under that magic, put you back under that deep sleep. All right, no lion, like Elder Pascal Bar would say, to call me a gentleman is disrespect. No lion, all right, is gentle unless that lion is tamed. So that should tell you something. No lion is gentle unless that lion is tamed. So how did Esau tame that lion? Because in order for him to free you from one form of oppression, he had another form of oppression to oppress you with that was greater than the last. So he let the lion loose, 1865, and as far as Jim Crow, 1968. But then he had the get out method. He had the sunken place method for the lion, which was they cloned Tyrone culture, so-called black culture, street culture, feminism, Christianity, which we were always Christians in America. But these were different forms of sorcery, man, that made the lion tranquil, that made the lion gentle, man. The only time you see a gentle lion is a conquered lion. A conquered lion is a gentle lion. You see, you must forget that the Most High made the nation of Israel like unto a lion. That's why King Solomon had lions by his throne, or statues of lions, all right, in front of his throne, man. 12 lions representing the 12 tribes of Israel. You see, only gentle lion is a conquered lion. But Esau is used, all right, as a handler. You have to understand, not Esau, well, Esau too, but Vocab Malone is a handler, man. See, when you go into MK Ultra and you go into these different celebrities, you'll find out that they have handlers, all right, that handles them, that tells them, like if they're getting an interview, right, you might see the celebrity in the interview, but you don't see the handler in the vicinity of the celebrity giving him certain signals on not to answer certain questions and things like that, man. Celebrities have handlers. But if you think about a handler, animals have handlers. All right, animals that have a wild nature that are in captivity have handlers. Like a tiger has a handler, a lion has a handler. Like the nation of Israel has a handler. And Christianity is a religion that keeps us handled. It keeps us soft and passive. All right, while you're held captive. All right, if you're a Christian, if you're a real Christian, then the Edomite can trust you. You know, if you're a Christian and you got that JC demon on you, then one thing an Edomite doesn't have to worry about is you rebelling against their system, because they use handlers like TD Jakes, Creflo Dollars. They keep you on a plantation. They keep you with a plantation mindset to prosper on the plantation and not to realize that you're oppressed on the plantation, you see? So you got guys like Vocab is another handler to put that lion back to sleep, man. No, you're not the chosen. You're not going to have us in slavery. You know, you're not supposed to help. You know, it's not supposed to be that. And everything he says we're not supposed to do, they did it to us. But the tables are turning, and now it's a problem. You see? So, hey, going back to those original breakdowns, even when we had Nate breaking down the 12 tribes, which the apostles went back over that, but it's, you know, it's speak about as an old lion who aroused some up, because we stood up as a lion in the 60s. All right, doing those, we had a lot of riots in the 60s. All right, but even if you watch the movie Menace to Society, the narrator was saying in the beginning of the movie, after the riots, the drugs came, showing you that the advent of drugs, all right, was part of putting that lion back to sleep. If you watch the movie Panther, it came out in 1995. I think it was a federal FBI agent was talking, and this is after they basically took down the Black Panther Party. They said, roughly paraphrasing, what do we have next? Like, what are we going to do with these black people next? And he said, crack. I think he said crack. You see? Or he named something. He might have said heroin. But it was a 1995 movie illustrating the Black Panther Party movement and showing you how the FBI took them down. But at the end of the movie, they're having a conversation. The FBI agent was having a conversation. He said at the end of the movie, like, how are we going to handle, you know, the blacks from now on? He said, we're going to give them crack. And you know how you know that Jake is a fucking crouched down lion? Because the knowledge is out that they gave us a fucking drug. It's a weapon. The knowledge is out that they gave us a fucking drug. And what is Jake doing? Not a motherfucking thing, man. Don't you understand that cities like Jackson, Mississippi, New Orleans, Louisiana, Memphis, Tennessee, Little Rock, Arkansas, Chicago, Atlanta, I'm gonna name those ratchet cities like Jackson, Mississippi, and Memphis and New Orleans, man. They're like that as a result of the attacks that Esau bestowed on you, man. Heroin in the 60s and the 70s, crack cocaine in the 80s. Don't you want to talk to any baby boomer that's about 60 years old? They saw the transition from Jake two-parent households to Jake one-parent household, because at least one of the parents got strung off on crack cocaine. They showed you in the movie why they idolized Frank Lucas, which is a tool for the overthrow of his people, all right? They showed you how you had a so-called black woman in an apartment building with babies around her crying because he's strung out on fucking drugs, man. As an old lion who aroused him up, man. All right? Frank Lucas wasn't that fucking brilliant. They could get heroin sent in corpse from Vietnam to America. That's what they do. See, while you think they glorify Frank Lucas, really what they're doing is saying it was him. That country bumpkin was a tool. Even Nicky Barnes was like, man, that wasn't nothing but old southern country bumpkin, man. That nigga was a tool. Denzel made it look like he was some aloof mastermind or some shit. That nigga was a fucking tool. Just like Ricky Ross, the original Ricky Ross. I believe that man was illiterate, man. But that nigga said in the interview, he's like, yeah, I played the game. They showed you that in the movie. Hey, I'm double honest to the apostles putting us up on this stuff, man. They showed you that in the movie Kill the Messenger, where the CIA used a nigga, because he was just a nigga, Rick Ross, the real Rick Ross, as a tool. They had a so-called black man playing Rick Ross in the movie Kill the Messenger, showing you that the CIA used this nigga as a pawn to bring crack to the Americas, man. Get the fuck out of here, man. Get the fuck out of here. As an old lion who will rouse some up, man. That's why they give you niggas BET. That's a tranquilizer, man, to keep that lion tame. Well, now it's not BET, it's just nigga culture, it's just rap, it's just drill rap. That's magic, man. That's sorcery, man. That ain't nothing but putting lions in close quarters and watch them kill each other. You watching Discovery Channel and Planet Earth and shit like that, and you will always see lions or apex predators killing each other. But the reason why, because they're in territory that's really controlled by Esau. They got apex predators in the same environment. So you shouldn't put apex predators in the same environment. It's not natural, but Esau does that, and it causes that chaos. Hence the game infiltration. All right, you got these different gangs in the inner city, but the neighborhoods apart from each other, man. All right. You know, as an old lion who should rouse some up, man. All right, processed food in our neighborhoods, drugs in our neighborhoods, man. Welfare state, man. All right. That's why it says in Deuteronomy, you know, cursed be you in the city. I'm thinking of another scripture. I think it's in Jeremiah, where it says that we are a taunt in a proverb. In the NLT, in one of those scriptures, it's a lot for being vague, but in the NLT it says basically your habitation is a place of horror. Yes, these inner cities, man. It looked like it's the inner city American version of The Hills Have Eyes, where it showed the aftermath of Hiroshima and Nagasaki, man. It's as though bombs were dropped on our inner cities, man. Don't you understand that shit? But Esau was so psychological with this shit. Jake wanna be the monster. Jake wanna be the monster, man. He wants to be the monster. He wants to be the Lil Durk and the King Von, because Esau knows in psychology, whatever behavior you desire, you reward that behavior. So he rewards nigga behavior because he wants you to be a nigga, or to justify the propaganda to push the propaganda that you're the problem and have you in his prison system. But furthermore, to delete you off the planet Earth. Same thing with Eve, man. He weaponized Eve. Eve is more of a killer than a nurturer. Ain't that something? Eve is more likely gonna put your baby to death in her womb than to nourish a baby. And if she does bring a baby to this earth, it's through a matriarch. So Eve, in general, doesn't even believe in a two-parent household. When she has your baby, in her mind, and within the matriarch, within the sisterhood, no, she's having the sisterhood's baby. That's a sisterhood's baby in a lot of cases. All right, that's a sisterhood baby. The last thing she thinking is Jake finna be a provider, or Jake is gonna be a leader, or me and Jake is gonna raise it. In a lot of cases, especially in these liberal cities, it is Eve had a baby. Really, the sisterhood had a fucking baby, man. Your baby was born into the sisterhood, whether it was a boy or a girl, man. It's real shit, man. All right? And that's not to say that, Jake, you can't, get a skill or a trade and fucking better yourself. But you still gotta know, this nigga attacked us, man. This nigga attacked us on many fucking levels, man. Politics was an attack. Bill Clinton was a weapon against us, man. That nigga was a weapon against us, man. That nigga came with the 3 strike rules, but he also pushed the narrative that we're the poor people and we need help, and that's why you have welfare. But welfare just help poor people stay poor. All right? You never grow as a people if you're dependent on fucking welfare. And we could all use help financially, like if you get food stamps, hey, good for you. But they've created environments where you're fucking, you have generations of people that's being raised off food stamps and welfare and government assistance, and they think they doing something, but it is really making very mediocre people, a very low quality people with a low standard of living, man. You know, like Mississippi is relatively small, right? So you got the Jackson inner city, that's where all Jake is at, right? All so-called black people, right? But then you got the suburbs like Madison and Gluckstadt. Man, Jackson will be negligent of pothole. I mean, Jackson will be negligent of infrastructure work. There's potholes. I done bent my rim all type of ways. You know, it's parts of the town like in South Jackson where it's just bad. All right? It's slow progress. It's slow progress. But you go to the outer areas like Madison and Gluckstadt, man, they could build a neighborhood overnight. They could build a shopping plaza overnight, man. But it's their way of escaping from us, because once upon a time, East inhabited the inner city of Jackson. All right? But I got to go clock in. Akim, I hope you brothers and sisters were edified. Till the next time, shalom.